Welcome to the Kentucky X-Files, Season 2, with your hosts Dennis Mays, Tyler Stewart, and Josh Gibbs. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, so you never miss an episode. Now, on to our show.
Crouched down. For me, at first, I thought it was just a footage thing.
I thought it was a bear. You can tell the difference between like a small spindly-legged creature and something with a larger foot. And it was big, whatever it was. It ran straight down at us and it just stopped. And it was pitch black. Couldn't see it.
And most of these witnesses that have come close to these things could have been killed.
It was beating on the side of the house. I didn't hit the side of the house as it went by.
Now, when it stood up, that's when I knew it was a gone man.
Right, like I needed someone to have pure faith in a higher power at that moment, and nobody fucking did.
Welcome back, guys, to the Kentucky X-Files.
Ow! Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I like it. That was good.
Ow! Welcome back, y'all!
Denny Roxo.
Oh, another week. Another week is down. Another week.
Not for them. This week is just starting.
That's true.
We apologize.
Definitely.
I wonder how they feel about that. Like, you know, they're sitting there listening to us drink beer and hang out in the garage.
Yeah.
On a Monday morning.
It's like time travel, though. It's like
right.
By the time you hear this Monday morning, we'd already done this Saturday evening.
Yeah.
That's like 2 days.
Yeah.
It's like 16 days.
But you know how much it sucks to like get up and go to work when you hear stuff like this. It's like, I wish I was sitting in a garage drinking beer instead of driving to work.
I know. Monday when this episode actually drops, I'll be already at work.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So we'll be right there with them.
That's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's true. We should listen to it and hate ourselves for it too.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like listening and I'm like, God,
I wish I was Saturday me and not Monday me right now.
I want to send myself a future message. Like, hey me. I'm sorry, buddy.
I mean, technically, isn't that what you're doing right now?
Yeah. Do your thing, man. Just you got 5 days. Just get through it.
Just knock
Chug
it out.
along. Chug it.
Woo, woo.
There we go. This has been the week of comments and messages, like big time. I don't even know where to start, but I got this one here
Oh.
that I wanted to let you guys hear, and I think you'll like it a lot.
Before you do that,
Yeah.
thank you guys for all the birthday wishes.
Yeah.
I wanted to let you guys know that. So yeah.
We still got to give you your birthday spankings.
No, we don't.
Pank,
so
pank, pank.
continue.
Yeah.
Continue with
You're
your
30 something now, right? That's a lot of spankings.
No, it's not.
It's at least 15 each.
Oh, jeez.
And then one with two of us at the same time.
Yeah, to grow on, because we want you to grow.
Yeah.
You gotta grow.
You got my age wrong, but I'm not gonna tell you how old I am.
We'll just guess, and we're terrible at math.
Just times it by 10.
Yeah, it's 100 spanks.
Right.
So anyway,
Help me.
We also have all the previous years we didn't do, so we got to build up to it.
oh yeah, jeez.
So it'd
Can
be
we just get on with the show?
1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, doing paradiddles on them hiney cheeks. You guys out there still listening? Good. Anyway, so we got an email. I saved this one because I think this is so cool. And I think the dude's got some points here. This is from a Mr. Jack. And here's his email. It says, "Hey guys, longtime listener and lurker of the cast here. I recently listened to the Appalachian episode, and the mention of Mammoth Caves got me thinking about a cryptid I'm not sure you guys have touched on yet. But I'm seeing more sightings all over the internet. It's called a crawler, similar to the rake on Creepypasta, if you remember. What does it say here? R/crawling sightings is a trove of experiences, and it only seems to be more and more common. I can't remember what episode, but I remember a guest talking about a 7-foot tall, pale, ball-headed creature, and I think this hits the nail pretty well on the head. It's supposedly a forest cave dweller, and I've seen theories it's responsible for many missing people. I've also seen stories about Sasquatch hunting them, but you know how cryptid stories are. Some can be very outlandish. I'd love to hear you guys talk about it on an episode if it interests you. Keep up the good work, fellas. I love listening to it at work over here in Britain. And I have since I saw episode 1 on the Skinwalker subreddit. Thanks for all your work, Jack." That is awesome.
That is fantastic.
And the crawler cryptid that he's talking about, I've looked into that one too. That's a neat, absolutely terrifying prospect, but really neat.
Right. Yeah, and the picture that it comes up if you search it on Google, I've also seen that creature listed as a rake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of it almost has, if you're heavy metal fans out there, it almost kind of looks like Eddie.
Yeah.
From
Iron
Maiden. Yeah, the band name just escaped me.
It's the teeth.
Yeah,
it's the mouth. It's like
well, it's like where the jowls start at the nose.
Yeah,
and work around. You know, it's I've seen that one. I've seen the picture that comes up a lot, and man, that's a really disturbing creature.
The thing that jumped out at me was I was listening to Steve Had a Hunt one day, and an email came in where someone had reported that they saw one, and it was literally just standing there, and they were in their car, and it just took off running after them. And the dude literally was like, "Yeah, I floored it." And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, you floored it." Like, dude, if you didn't, like, there'd be something wrong with you.
Right.
That shit, that would be like something that would make me possibly wreck my car.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could totally, like, I'm pretty sure if I was cruising along and saw a Sasquatch, I'd probably do the holy shit. You know what I mean? But that one, I could see swerving and just crashing into the ditch and being like, "Okay, here I am, you know, free meal."
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it's a lot more menacing looking, you know. It looks like it's a hunter.
Yeah.
You know.
I wonder if that, you remember the Gravediggers?
Yeah.
Cryptid? I wonder if that's something similar.
Aren't the Gravedigger cryptids, are you talking about the ones in Kentucky?
Yeah.
They were small, though, weren't they?
Yeah.
Weren't they like 3 to 5 foot, something like that?
I don't know, but that's another one that gets me, though.
Yeah.
Like, I live right by a graveyard, so every time I go through, I'm like, you know, man, if I saw something like that just sitting there digging and it just stopped and looked at me like, ugh.
Makes you wonder, like, because, you know, when that story, that folklore came around, you know, people were still being buried in pine boxes.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine the first time they hit a concrete, you know, vault in the ground? Like, what the hell is this?
Maybe they went extinct because we changed it too much.
Maybe that's the whole reason we changed it, and we don't even know. Started out with the metal coffins, and that didn't do any good. And they put them in concrete vaults, and they go, well, shit.
No kidding. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have kept up with a lot of those, you know, those cryptid sightings, but this crawler thing is all over the place. I mean, it's nuts. I would say it almost has even a little bit more traction than, say, like even the Dogman.
See, a few years ago, it was everywhere. You couldn't get on YouTube or Facebook or anything without seeing that same picture. There were news channels that were doing videos of it. If we're talking about the same one, let me pull up the picture here. This is what we're talking about, correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It was all over years ago.
Yep.
Like 10 years ago, something like that.
Right, yeah.
And then it just kind of faded into the distance. So that's kind of cool. It's making a comeback.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I think actually, if we if I remember correctly, I think the second time Lee Woods, if anybody out there remembers, he was our first guest on this show, and then he came back probably, I want to say like towards the end of season 1. He was talking about that when he, where did he? I can't remember where he went.
Yeah, he was on his way to Bluff Creek.
Yeah, and then you said he said that he has like at that time he didn't have that many sightings at that moment, but he said he did see like a pale, like a skinny, pale, lanky figure. I think didn't he say it ran across the street from him?
Yeah, they saw it. It was laying down.
Yeah,
and it fucking like stood up or something, and it crawled. I don't know. I don't remember.
I can't. Yeah, I would have to go back to that. But
yeah.
And
Lee
then,
is super lucky though. Like he's got this like uncanny luck of just spotting cryptids. You know what I mean? Like out of nowhere. He's got the eye for it.
And then I think what was it? Didn't Candace say something about that too? Said her daughter or one of them said something about something she saw in the trees.
Yeah, there was
like a pale thing in the trees, jumping from tree to tree.
Right.
Can you believe how long it's been since we talked to Candace?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This rake is a very old folklore too. It's been around since the 1600s.
The what?
Really?
Yeah.
Really, it's been around that long?
Yep. First reference in literature was in the 1600s.
Wow.
I keep thinking like the way it makes it sound, it's like because how it looks and stuff. It reminds me of the whole like the Wendigo and stuff. I know like the Wendigo is depicted way differently,
there's
but
a lot of different.
There's difference, but I was just saying it's like it seems like it's that type of like lore. It would be that type of lore behind it. It would be. It's something somebody got lost. Like things happened and they changed.
Yeah.
Like think of like. I feel like the rake or what is it? The crawl. What they're calling it. They're calling it now is the crawler.
Yeah, I think that's just a rebranding of the. It's the same as far as the descriptions go. It's the same creature.
Yeah.
But I think it just looks like a more. If you take Lord of the Rings and make it a horror film, that would be Schmeagol. Like think about it. Like it look like the way it like you've seen pictures or drawings. It's very like lanky and that pale maybe / like palish gray body.
Right.
I'm actually reading about it right now, and in 1964, there was a suicide note written in which the author claimed that the reason he was committing suicide was because of multiple visits of the rake. He was tired of it.
Wow.
Couldn't take it anymore.
I could see that. I mean, if it's something that's just happening over and over again, you know?
But the only thing is like, what's the purpose? What would be the purpose of doing that? It like. I remember you saying like this could be a creature that is the cause of missing people.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to be like I guess I'll be morbid about it, but what do you think he's doing with those people? Probably eating them, if anything. But what was the purpose of that? Like, why taunt him?
Right.
If like. That would be the purpose. Like, what would be the purpose? Like, no animal, like, plays with their, like, toys with them.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the weird, because the only creatures I can think of that actually toy with their prey are feline.
Yeah, cats.
Cats will sit there and mess
with
it.
They'll mess with them? Okay.
Oh, yeah. A male cat, specifically.
Yeah.
They're really good about catching mice and just tormenting.
Are we talking about like only domesticated cats, or would you'd see this out in the wild too? Like,
I don't know. I mean, it to me it seems like, and I'm no expert, but
orcas?
Yeah, orcas. Yeah, but I was thinking like, I mean, it just seems to me like a domestic cat has like a lot more time on its hands where it can do that.
Yeah.
Where like a mountain lion's probably like, dude, I'm probably not gonna find another deer
for a while.
If I don't jump and kill this goddamn thing quick.
Yeah, it's kind of wasting energy.
Yeah.
They're efficient.
They are.
House cats are plump and, they've got the expendable energy.
The only other option that I would say that it had, like, I don't know if I believe in, I would say that I believe in this theory, but it would have to be something that's partially in this world and the other.
Yeah.
Something that's here to torment you, but also probably it needs
like the definition of like something demonic almost.
Yeah, almost the definition of something demonic.
It's weird that you brought that up because I had a message sent to me on my private Facebook Messenger that said it said, well, what do you think about most of these cryptids being interdimensional, right? And we've talked about like interdimensional stuff before.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, you know what? I was like, hey, hold that thought. I'm gonna do some research. So I was like, who do I have to find to give me an answer about dimensions? Right?
Right.
Like, I know like dimensions is almost the stuff of sci-fi, right? I mean, when you think dimensional, like, another dimension. Hey, actually, all you had to do is find a physicist and just literally ask them, how many dimensions are they? And I was like, what's the right word? Absolutely like mind fucked, I think is the best word I could come up with when I found the answer to that question. 10 known universes is the official scientific answer to that.
Really?
That our universe operates on 10 different dimensions. Yeah.
Are we talking about, okay, I know we've said this, but when we say dimensions, like 10 different dimensions, we literally just think of 10 pieces of paper and we're just laying on top of each other.
Right. So the idea is, okay, so if like we know that black holes exist.
Yeah.
Right? They're out there and they're doing their thing. Okay.
I thought that's a collapsing of a star that's just destroying.
It is, but what happens when it collapses?
It caves in on itself, or
it caves in and it causes this massive
like
gravity,
rip or something,
like gravity collapse. Okay, so the number one force in the universe is gravity, right? So gravity affects literally everything. If gravity was gone right now, well, that's the end of the show and life as we know it, because we're all gone. Even our cells can't hold together without it. You know what I mean? So back in ancient Greece, they had a theory, which is where the word atom comes from, that something was binding everything together, and they considered it, whatever that was. They didn't know what atoms were. They just theorized about it. So atoms are literally being held together with gravity, right? Well, that's actually like, that's what he call it. What is the right word? Quantum physics. This blew my mind though. Anyway, so if you take, like you said, you put a piece of paper on a table, all right, or like we're looking at the table right now. We got the recorder sitting here. We got our stuff sitting here, our beers and all that. This is the first dimension. Okay, everything exists on this table right now. Okay, we're not on the table. We're beside the table. We are another dimension. Okay, so in one dimensional, nothing could be stacked on top of each other. Everything would be clumped up and side by side on the table, just taking up massive space. Then you jump, you get second dimensional, and then I'm stacking stuff up for you guys out there listening. Third dimensional, and we notice that we can actually build upward because we have more space now. We're occupying more space. We're not just saying, like, the simplest way to look at it is like, oh yeah, you fucking stacked your shit on top of something else. That's true. But in physics, this can is occupying space. Now this is above it. So we're occupying a new space above it. We operate in the third dimension. We move freely in and out of stuff like that. It's like the old thing where the fish underneath the water doesn't really know what's going on above the water because he's in his dimension. We pass back and forth, all right? So physicists have figured out that there's at least 10 observable dimensions within life. And then beyond that, their answer is startling. We have no idea how many dimensions are actually at work. And then when it gets to quantum physics, this blew my mind. You know, we've talked before about, the idea of it being all random or intelligent design, blah, 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 all the different aspects of that. When you go subatomic down to molecules, between molecules, right? The only things that we cannot measure are electrons. You know how, like, when you measure something, and they said it's simply because we don't have anything smaller to measure it with.
That makes sense.
Because, like, you look at the sun, and you can be like, oh, you could fit 10 billion Earths inside the sun. So just from that, you could be like, that sun's pretty goddamn big. You know what I mean?
We're not going to use the metric system, though.
We won't. No, absolutely not. We won't come within 10 suns of that.
Yep.
But with electrons, we can't measure them because we don't know what's smaller than them. We can't see it. The only thing we know about them is that they are pre-programmed to do what they do. They're quantized. We can't affect what an electron does. We can't tell it to be an electron. It already has the information it needs somehow. And we have this is, like, to me, this is scary. Science has no idea how it works.
So is this specifically for just the electrons, or is it also protons and neutrons?
Protons and neutrons are measurable.
Right.
Because we have electrons. We can say, like, oh, this proton is like 87 electrons big. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we can't go smaller than the electron. But what I'm getting at is when this guy said that, hey, what do you think about these things being from another dimension? Who the hell knows?
Right.
At this point, the top minds in the world are like, you know what I mean? These are they're quantum physicists. Like, what do you get? How do you measure what's smarter than that?
Right.
This dude, knows how matter reacts with matter and energy and dark energy, which they also have no idea what it is. Like dark matter, dark energy out in space. They know that space is 95% dark matter and dark energy, but they have no idea how it works and what it does. And that's scary. Because it's like we're surrounded by it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So people are like, hey, what about these things coming from a different dimension? Fuck, maybe. At this point, we have no reason to say, no, not possible. We have nothing. We don't even have the top minds able to be like, yeah, there's no way UFOs could come from there. There's no, nobody can say that.
Well, that's since you're saying that, I want to.
It's the ocean, dude. It's literally the ocean. Like,
I'm gonna tail.
There's so much shit. You know what I mean?
Tail off of this, because there's always If you guys out there believing in this, I'm not saying it, but hear me out before you bash me. Okay, the whole hollow earth theory. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think it's that plausible. But people saying that they've seen or something of this nature of alien spacecrafts coming out from the polar ice caps, or what was it, the North Pole and stuff of that nature. So what happens if you were just saying, we don't know.
We have no idea.
Could that came out of it looked like it came out of the ground.
Yeah.
But it could have came from another dimension.
You know what's weird about that is that one of those two scenarios is crazy, and the other one's more likely. That's what's weird about that. If you say like, "Oh, dude, Sasquatch dug a hole in the ground and disappeared," man, that's nuts. Where's he gonna go? How the hell would he know to dig right there to get to his secret lair? If he said, "Hey, Sasquatch went through a fucking wormhole and went back to his dimension," it's weird to say that modern science is actually on board with you there. Like, yeah, probably, maybe.
Like these portals that people are saying that they're seeing, maybe.
Portals are actually a lot more, like, what do you call it? They're a lot more likely than I ever thought.
They exist in subatomic nature too, don't they?
Yeah, and that's weird too because all physics changes when you go subatomic.
Yeah,
it's weird. It plays by the rules until you go subatomic.
And that's another thing
and
too.
then it changes.
And that's another thing I wanted to throw out there, like, because it just popped in my brain. You were saying like, oh, how could he have dug a hole right there and find his lair, or how could he have known right there would have been another rip where he could go back to his place or something?
Yeah.
Because I don't think that like like I said, like you were saying, we don't know their anatomy or what they could do if there's beings that are in other realities or dimensions.
Well, that would be the whole case there.
Like, could they form that or something? But if anything, I was more like saying it's like, you know how they said that, okay, birds navigate, like, what do they like say, like,
the
little
poles.
ion, the
magnetic fields.
Yeah, the magnetic fields.
Yeah.
What happens if they have the same kind of thing that kind of coaxes them?
Well, that's
like
right there is literally, that's like the whole basis of this is if you have, say we operate within we're three-dimensional. That's all we got. We never go fourth dimensional.
Right.
And it's there. Like, it's literally there, but we can't see it and we can't interact with it.
I'm just confused.
That's
like, how?
fucked up.
What is it? Like, how? What do you mean? All I keep thinking is like 3D rendering.
Okay, so I might be able to help out with this one. All right.
Is there 4 sides to this cube now?
Okay, so here's what I want you to do.
Sort of.
This is a little play-at-home game, all right?
Yeah.
Take a piece of paper, right?
Okay.
Draw Super Mario on the front of it.
Okay.
Okay? Pick the paper up, turn it on its edge, and look at the narrow, thin side of the piece of paper.
Yeah.
You're looking in 1D.
Okay.
All right? Flip the paper and face you, looking at Mario. You're now in 2D.
Yeah.
Fold it into origami, you're now in 3D.
Yeah.
Now, if you take that origami and fold it in half, and Mario can jump from one side to the other, that's 4D.
There you go. That's all it would take.
Yeah. 1D, you can't see. We can't see. It doesn't exist for us. It's below what we see.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers, Sonic,
Yeah.
Donkey Kong, these are all
Scroll.
Those are all 2D
Yeah.
video games. Grand Theft Auto, that kind of stuff is when you get into 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, imagine a creature that exists in the fourth dimensional.
So yeah, then that means that
If they exist in it, that means that they are naturally able to sense it like we sense three-dimensional life.
Yeah.
Even a blind person can literally feel, what they're grabbing for.
Right.
They can still feel all of their senses are attuned for three-dimensional life.
Yeah.
So a fourth-dimensional creature,
we can basically see, like,
it
has
would
the
know.
foresight.
It would literally be like, oh, I can slip right back right here. Here's a little fold. And then that's the other thing is,
Could they? So we couldn't go to their world, but they couldn't come. But they can come to our world.
Their world would exist in parallel.
yeah.
But could we jump back and forth? Like,
No,
could we?
because we can't experience 4D.
We
Yeah.
can't experience that.
We have no way to perceive 4D.
Okay.
We can prove it with math,
Yeah.
but we can't observe it
Yeah.
for ourselves.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so could they, if they were fourth dimensional, could they come over to a 3-dimensional world?
In theory, they should be able to.
Well,
Like, they don't have no hindering.
It's not even in theory, because a 3-dimensional being exists simultaneously in 2-dimensional worlds. Because all it means is, instead of being able to just do front, back, up, down, We go front, back, up, down, side, side.
Yeah.
They have another range of motion we can't perceive.
See, that gives a creature that's existing, maybe evolved and exists in the fourth dimension, that gives them an incredible advantage over us. Because, one, they can slip in and out of your perception. Actually, if I'm being honest, it actually explains quite a bit of shit because, and I know it's crazy because I'm like for the, hominid, relic hominid. I'm for that. In regards to like Sasquatch, you know how I feel about like Dogman and stuff.
Yeah.
And like Rake, I don't want that to exist.
Right.
Ever. I don't want it to. And like the knot deer, I've already said my piece about it. I don't want that around. But if something exists in a fourth dimensional, it could literally slip in and out of even your eyesight. Oh man, I seen it and then it just disappeared. Probably. You know what I mean? That's the messed up part about it.
It is. It's messed up, but it also kind of feels like science ex machina.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a real easy way to explain away something when evidence is severely lacking. You know what I mean?
Really, yeah, it is. It's crazy. That was my whole basis, was like, I wanted to know, like, oh yeah, UFOs are coming from a different dimension, Sasquatch and all these cryptids live in a different dimension. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go to the root of it. Let's look at dimensions. Let's see what's up with dimensions.
So yeah, that would actually make a lot of sense saying that, because we've always had we speculated on that in the last episode, where what kind of, unless their ship could actually create like a singularity to get here, how could they have survived a trip that far, and what would be the purpose? What would we offer them to do it, other than the fact that they are basically already here? They're just on the other side, and that's what we're seeing.
I don't know.
They're not coming from another planet or anything.
See, that's the part where I jump ship when it comes to UFOs. You know what I mean? I can't help it. My brain will not accept the idea of them traveling across the universe to get here, and then what? Abducting us and sticking stuff in our butt. You know what I mean? I just can't get on board with it. I'm like, dude, if they're coming from anywhere, it's close. They're here. Like we talked about a couple episodes back. They're breeding drones and
that was the last episode. It was last episode.
It's like that. Like that. I'm more on board with that.
That's kind of like what I was like going from is that maybe we're not like these creatures, like these beings are just on the other side, and maybe that's how they can come over here. And you saying too is that we can't perceive fourth dimensional like objects or anything that's probably on that plane.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason why we're getting all confungled when we actually see that and we're losing time, is that our brain is trying to comprehend something that we don't know and we don't.
I don't know.
And that's kind of why they can phase in and phase out.
If a fourth dimensional being was right in front of you,
would you know it?
How would you know?
Yeah.
Right.
How the hell would you even know if they were there?
I don't know with like the alien thing. To me, like, if they're a fourth dimensional being and they can travel through the fourth dimension in our planet, then that sort of negates the need for gigantic hovering fuel consuming ships.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of fall back to the idea of maybe the singularity event. Yeah. And maybe they're closer than we think. Like, maybe to us, with our technology, Kepler seems like it's a lifetime away.
Right.
But maybe with their technology, it's not. I mean, think about, like, what it was like for the people in the Wild West to travel from the East Coast to the West Coast. That was a major undertaking.
Yeah.
That was stuff that took months planning,
Yeah.
That was something that took teams of people and months of planning and supplies, and even then could still end tragically Look at the Donners, you know?
Yeah.
And now we've got people graduating high school getting in conversion vans and driving from New York to California,
Right.
you know, with no problem whatsoever. So maybe it's a technology thing. Maybe we don't realize how easy it is for them because we don't have the technology to understand it's easy.
Yeah. I mean, well, one thing I was reading about was I after we talked about the collider, you know, I started looking into it more and
The CERN?
yeah, like checking out what they were up to and how they were working on it and like what the, you know, what was the end game result, you know, and it's literally to understand how these particles, you know, work.
Yeah.
You know, and then discovering new particles, you know, and all this shit and then you know, people were saying like, oh, you know what, they're gonna accidentally create a black hole. Well, there was one physicist that came forward and was like, they don't need to. We have them.
Right.
And they're like, well, what do you mean? You know, like, what are you talking about? And they're like, dude, singularity events are not something that just happens way the hell out in space away from you.
Right.
That singularity events can happen anywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is like gravitational anomalies that happen all over the place, even on our own planet. You know, like what was that? There was one I was reading about, which was really interesting. For the longest time, they thought that all of the craters on the moon. Have you ever looked at all the craters on the moon, and they're all like perfectly round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever notice that? It's kind of weird. Well,
I didn't.
they were like, well, they must not be craters. They must be volcanoes. I can't remember the term for it. There's like a special term for, you know, volcanoes on the moon or whatever.
Right.
Because they're like, yeah, they're perfectly round. That doesn't make any sense. Right?
But a volcano?
But a volcano would be round.
Oh.
Well, it turns out that no, they are craters, right? They're
Yeah.
not volcanoes. And the reason that confused them was because have you ever taken like a snowball or a rock or something, you know, something, or not a rock, but like anything, and just thrown it at a wall? If you throw it directly at the wall, it splatters round-ish. But if you throw it at an angle, it kind of kicks off to one side.
Uh-huh.
Well, they're like, well, why don't they do that? Why don't they have different directions if they're, you know, there's no way that all the meteors are hitting in the same direction all the time, right? But it was like, for years, this baffled science. You know, they had no idea how this worked. And then finally one day they figured it out that if the object that hits has more energy than like what it hits or something like that, or more energy in it than the speed it's traveling, it will produce a round impact. And that was recent. That's like only, you know, maybe 40 years ago.
Right.
And that's like a simple little thing in regards to like how physics works up in space, you know? So now we're getting to the point where these guys are looking into deep space and they're looking at this dark energy and dark matter and singularity events and all this shit. And they're literally like, I love it that they're willing to come forward and be like, we have no idea. And there's like,
that's important, man.
There's a lot of shit.
Yeah, I respect somebody that's a very intelligent person to admit that they just don't know.
Yeah.
Because there's too many people out there that they know a lot,
yeah,
but they just can't take they just don't want. I feel like it's an ego hit.
Yeah.
When they say they don't know, it's like this. Like, just take your loss there and just figure it out if that's really what you want to do. But I don't know if we're going to continue on this topic. Like, we still can. I thought this was really exciting.
Yeah.
NASA is actually slotting a mission.
Yeah.
To go to Titan. Actually put a drone. It's actually the name of the drone is Dragonfly.
Awesome.
It's actually a drone, like your normal propeller drone.
Yeah.
So this is going to be one of the first where it could actually it can sense it can dig and send
awesome.
It can't send samples.
Take that, Elon Musk.
So I just think that it's also, well, don't get me wrong, this has been pushed back. It's slotted for June of 2027.
Yeah.
I was gonna say where are they gonna launch it from?
I can't remember. I don't.
Probably SpaceX.
Because NASA quit launching here a long time ago.
Yeah.
I just thought that was cool because there was something that came back a while back, like a long time ago, that there was a certain because we all know, we've heard the whole thing that Titan, Saturn's moon, is the only kind of type of atmosphere and it's similar to Earth.
It has
a similarity. It's not.
It's pressure.
Definitely because freaking the rivers are pure mercuries.
It's atmospheric pressure.
Yeah. So
it just makes you 0.5% more survivable there.
But
you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It has air pressure, so you don't explode. But
the crappy thing is, no matter what is the technology to even have a manned mission there would be crazy, because they said that on a normal day on Titan would be negative. I think they said 200 and some odd degrees.
Yeah.
It's Celsius, and that's in Celsius.
Definitely put on your jammies underneath your suit for that one.
But that's the thing. The highest suit that we can withstand is a quarter of that.
Yeah.
Our suits can't stand that cold.
There's one of the moons out there, and I know that they desperately want to get something to it, but I think it's outside of our reach just yet. It's Europa or something, where they detected methane.
Yeah. That's is that Jupiter's moon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was I'll be honest with you, I wasn't super into this subject when I first heard that. So when I first heard it, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, methane. Oh, holy shit.
It's a fart planet.
I'm like, great.
They got a lot of cattle up there.
I know. I'm like, well, I'll be honest. Going a little bit further into my dumbness, I was like, wow, you found a gas. That's great. And then it wasn't until much later where they were like, yeah, methane comes from living organisms. Yeah. I'm like, what? Really? Yeah. That we know of. Methane's pretty much only captured by being, like you said, it's a fart planet. But they said something was being siphoned off of Jupiter into Europa's atmosphere and being changed into methane.
Right.
And I'm like, that's weird.
But isn't Jupiter a gas planet?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole subject right there just blows my mind. The idea of a planet being a gas planet.
And the fact that it's literally massive.
Right.
It's so much more dense than us, and it's made of gas.
Yeah.
It's way to call Earth bitch made,
Right.
It's we got rock and all kinds of shit, and we're still not even as dense as a bunch of gas.
Right.
You know okay, how many rings do you think Saturn has?
I don't know. It's got to be a bunch. I mean, it looks like one big one, but I know it's a bunch.
They said that the thing, I can't remember where I heard this, but it's I think they said it was in the hundreds, but it goes down every so often because the planet devours them.
Wow.
Because I guess as they spin around the
in.
planet, it basically eats the rings.
Oh shit.
And constantly meteors keep coming and getting trapped in that.
Feeding it.
And that's another thing that they're worried about. I feel like that's the reason why this mission to Titan is so crucial, so long to plan, is because to get to Titan, it basically has to go through to try to figure out a pathway through that basically minefield.
Yeah.
Think of that,
the Astro Belt.
Yeah, those rings alone will destroy anything that probably comes flying in that path.
Did you know? You probably already know this, but did you know that you could literally fly somewhere in space with nothing more than a spotlight?
The force from the spotlight?
Just a spotlight, a light. Just aiming it one direction and holding it, and it'll eventually push you to where you need to go. This is mind blowing.
What's propelling you? I can understand it's the light, but
Okay, so this is the thing that messed with my head a lot. A light produces photons.
Okay.
Okay, so in space,
Yeah, it's
you
empty.
you hit your light, it's throwing photons out, right? And those photons are bumping whatever molecules are there. That's how it works. When like say you've got like a molecule sitting here, whatever it is, when a photon hits it, it physically hits it. And this blew my mind. It's like it doesn't just light up the room. The light coming off of that is literally hitting this stuff.
Well, you got to think about that. That makes so much sense. Okay, I know it blinds you, but think about these like high intense like LEDs that people have or something like that.
Yeah.
And they turn it on and you feel like you got punched in the face
Like,
when you
Jesus.
first see it. Like I know you're more reacting to the brightness in your eyes.
Yeah.
But it does, like, if you actually like sit there and think, like, you turning on a light like that, you I remember like feeling that, like feeling something across my face. I'm not saying that it was significant, like it knocked me back or anything, but I'm just saying it's like, okay, I can see that happening because the brighter it is probably more of the.
So it's interesting to me because, I mean, eventually they're going to send these drones out there with nothing more than lights flipping on and giving them their boost to go, like just concentrated lights.
Yeah, I can't remember what's.
And
I
you'll
think
see
it was
little
Voyager.
lights flying around in the sky,
I think it was Voyager 2. It's like, and that was like sent off back in like the 80s or 70s or something like that. But they said that it's like, it's reaching the end, like basically like the end of our, I can't say solar system, but I think like where it says that it's like a, because they said that if you actually look through a telescope, you can see the Big Bang. You can see what it happens. Like there's still like
it's still
the
moving.
cause. Yeah, it's still moving.
The Doppler effect.
Yeah, so it's still moving, and I think that's what they're saying. There's like 2 layers of it, and they're saying that Voyager 2 is actually passing that. It's still sending back data. That's all. I think that's so. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
But they, I think they said they have they had a problem with their main, like boosters to change.
Yeah.
To make sure that they can get a signal back and forth. I think they said, and like, so they had to do the backups. And dude, this is, like I said, like 80s, 70s, dude, and we're in 2020.
Yeah.
And this thing, and like the thing is probably no bigger than a Volkswagen, maybe maybe a minivan.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like they have like giant fucking tanks, and this has been in fucking space longer than I've been alive.
Well, you figure the gravity is so low out there that it doesn't take
Yeah, because like a course correction, it probably just farts in it, so
they
it's
use
like
acetylene. They use regular old acetylene in
Really?
little tiny bursts to make corrections, dude. It's crazy. Just because they can get a lot of it on board.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's not very heavy. You know what I mean? And you can use a little bitty, and that'll
send it.
10 days from now, your satellite will make its turn because of that little shot.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to ask you how long do you think is a year on on Titan versus how long do you think? Okay. I totally screwed up this question.
I think I know what you're saying, and I already am gonna say I would have no idea how to even guess that.
Like how long do you think a year on Titan? How many years pass on Earth? I think that I want to say 16. I need to look that up, but I think it was 16.
That sounds plausible. Yeah.
16 to 1.
Well, it was 16 years
to 1 year.
To 1 year on Titan.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's how.
That's crazy.
Let me look that up.
You figure the further out you go, the exponentially more time is going to take to get around the sun.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always wonder, because we're like living in the sun's good graces as far as gravity goes, right?
Yeah.
I always wonder if you go out to say a planet that's a bit more resistant to the sun's gravity, like Jupiter, and you get close to it where you can orbit it, which I imagine that's probably not something that happens.
Right.
But if you could, what would time be like there? Like, would you be caught in between two different gravitational pools? You know what I mean? Because they say we have gravity from Jupiter even here now. You know, kind of affecting us, but
Right.
it can't be that much. I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
I was wrong. Well, I just this popped up first. Its average temperature on the surface of Titan is negative 290, and that's in Fahrenheit.
That's chilly.
That is chilly.
Yeah, that's real cold.
That's the point where it's
I think they said the lowest that it's ever been on Earth, and this is actually in like the north, like the polar ice caps, would be. I think they said negative 84.
it's like that's the point where it doesn't matter if you're saying Celsius or Fahrenheit anymore.
Right. Cold is cold.
You
at
can just
that
be
point.
like, what is that? Negative 80 Fahrenheit or Celsius? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's cold.
No, when you're talking like 60, then Fahrenheit versus Celsius
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
You know, there's like, what do they say? There's planets out there that like rain diamonds and shit.
Mhm.
Could you imagine?
That's isn't that
that
Jupiter?
Yeah, I think that's Jupiter.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Or
like,
Neptune. Neptune rains diamonds.
you could, like-
yeah, I thought it was.
if you could fly some kind of super ship in there for like a day,
Do you think you could make enough money?
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like would it be
Would it be worth it?
Yeah,
Come
would you
back
make
with-
enough money from the diamonds for what it would cost to build a ship to go there to harvest? See, that right there, that's how I can tell we're all Americans.
Yeah.
Is because that's what I was thinking
Is it
too.
cost efficient?
Like the first thing I thought about is they're going to Titan. Okay, what are they going to try to mine? You know?
My first thought was that if diamonds are being blown around the planet, are they getting damaged or are they like resistant? You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's a good.
And
Yeah,
if they're resistant, shouldn't we be trying to figure out how to make our ships out of that?
right.
Because I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm dumb.
Right.
This is my dumb thoughts.
Well, the problem with diamonds, at least in Earth, is that they're really not worth anything. Diamonds are actually a really worthless rock.
Yeah, they're just the
But-
flow is controlled.
But you can thank De Beers for that whole
Oh,
mess. It's De Beers' fault that this pennies on the dollar rock cost you a month's salary.
Yeah.
You know, it's an absolute scam. Every bit of it is a scam.
I went in and I researched this for a while, several years ago, and I was blown away by that diamonds really weren't worth anything. That it was all about controlling how many are out at a time.
Yeah.
You know. So stupid.
Yep. Yeah, there's other rocks out there that are much more valuable. Rubies and emeralds
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
are much more valuable than diamonds.
Well, it's kind of like what the hell is it? It's like gold because you have to. I guess you have to. You literally have to dig so much to get so little.
Yeah.
Right.
Like so, it takes a lot to get a little. So, I guess that's the reason why behind it. Like
I think we should-
there's so much effort behind.
We should make a movement. You know what, guys out there listening? If you have gold and diamonds just laying around, just send them in and we'll get rid of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we'll
So
get
you don't-
rid of it. You don't
want
need
that
it.
weighing you down.
You know, you actually you can own a. I think is it called a crude diamond, like a raw diamond. That's something that you actually dig up, but then you actually to sell that stuff. You have to have a license, and you have to have a license to actually cut the diamond, to actually
Yeah.
polish it and shit
It's almost as if that whole system was designed
to make money.
so that
Right.
somebody else could make money off of what you found.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like mineral rights, you know?
Yeah.
Who's going to come out? Somebody's going to land on one of these asteroids one day and just stumble upon some valuable shit, you know? And they're going to be like, yeah, dude, we got all these diamonds and all this gold. And somebody in the government is going to show up and be like, well, you're going to need mineral rights for that.
You don't need asteroid rights.
Yeah, you didn't hear about that. No,
Yeah.
just got implemented.
You know the crappy thing, what is it that reminded me? There's insurance, like your homeowner's insurance.
Yeah.
They don't cover like if a volcano explodes or something like that. So if your house gets demolished in a volcano, which is almost unlikely, but
Yeah, but still,
it's a natural disaster. It's just like a tornado, but they won't cover it.
If old Yellowstone ever goes up, man, there's gonna be a lot of pissed off people.
Well, I think they'd be more pissed off at the fact that they're dead. Do you really? If
meant the
Yellowstone fucking blows, we're not going to be around.
Yeah, that's true. They have said that for years.
Because that's supposed to be the biggest volcano
I was
on
going to say,
Earth, right?
if Yellowstone blows, we're not going to be around.
Yeah,
Like us, we're not going to make it.
yeah, humanity.
Oh yeah, humanity. Yeah.
Like I'm just talking like the United States.
That's supposed to be the biggest. Isn't that supposed to be considered the biggest volcano? It's right under our fucking feet, and we're just ooh
walking around on
it. Yeah. Let's just park our ass right on top of
great
this
hiking
fucking
trails.
Yeah, yeah. If
Till that
Yellowstone
bad boy
blows its
goes.
top, the ash cloud, and the volcano fallout would reach all the way to the east coast.
That's a question I want to ask. Do you think any of these like big disasters?
Yeah.
Do you think our fucking government has plans to keep them?
Well, like a doomsday vault.
Yeah, doomsday vault.
There is
I
a
know-
doomsday vault.
I know that there's the one. I can't. I think it's in Russia. It's like a vault that has every single seed
Flavor
known
of
to man.
vodka.
Yeah, flavor vodka. Every known seed known to man.
Yeah, that's
Like it's the vault to. But I think they made that for a different reason though.
I don't think it's in Russia though.
I thought it was in Russia. I
I
might
thought
be
it was
wrong.
in Scandinavia.
It's in Scandinavia.
I thought it
somewhere.
was like because I thought I saw a picture of it.
It's the Seed Mountain. It's in the bottom of
Yeah.
the mountain. But yeah,
Because I thought I saw it and there was a lot of snow, so that's why. I
yeah.
assumed
What the heck is that called? We've talked about it on the show.
that
but-
vault?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know we did.
we've talked about it. But yeah, it's a vault. I want to say it's in Scandinavia. It's up in the mountains, like outside of the Alps or something.
Do you think there's a vault out there with all like to keep all the hops and stuff? You know, like
Do you really think?
I'm just saying, if we're gonna be living in an apocalyptic world
You
with
need
a bunch of trees and that's it, I'd like to have some beer.
I mean, they got every plant, every
they have
seed.
Every
Yeah.
seed.
So
There's hops
is-
in there.
Okay, just
hops
making
is
sure.
in there.
Yeah, hops is in there.
It just sprung to mind this meme that popped up on my feed today, where it was the Noah's Ark, right?
Uh-huh.
And this unicorn walks up on the ark to another unicorn. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man? I'm Ted." And the other one's like, "Oh, I'm Steve."
Oh shit.
And they were like, "Oh shit!" And then it just shows them like floating away on the boat or whatever. And I'm like, "See, that would be an oversight."
I mean, that sounds like pure government to me.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, has there ever been a government that really got it right?
yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we're thinking it's like big conspiracies. Maybe it's just, you know, maybe it's just an old shit moment for everybody. Like, shit.
I just know for a fact that like there is a doomsday vault. There's probably some type of plan in play to get all the wealthy and blah blah blah
You know,
and this and that and the other thing. And be perfectly honest, I don't blame them. Like I don't really think that we all need to be. If the fucking world wants us gone, I think we should just say fuck it. Like it sucks that just because fucking dickhead over here invented something, he could buy a ticket on the ticket to go to this vault where he's safe, but it
Right.
sucks. But
you know what they're gonna need? They're gonna need a podcast
They're definitely
to
not going to
entertain
know.
in the future.
You have to have some type of skill. I feel like I hate to say this, Denny, but out of both of us, I work in vending. You work in beer.
Yeah.
I think Josh is the only one that's getting picked because he's a carpenter. So he has.
Well, he could put in a good word,
Right.
He could be like, "I know these guys."
Hey, you know, I'm just saying, carpenters get thirsty and hungry.
See, while he's building shit.
Yeah, as he's building shit, I'm dabbing the sweat. You're getting him to drink.
Yeah, I'm holding his beer for him. It's perfect.
Right.
You know?
I'm getting him candy
Right.
because you're holding the beer because
Yeah.
you're a beer guy.
Yeah.
Dude, my blood sugar drops all the time. I gotta have sweet stuff.
There you go. See, we got him covered.
Yeah. We're his assistants.
How's he gonna survive in the post-apocalyptic world without his assistants? So
Right.
whoever in the government's listening to this, you write this down in your little notebook.
Yeah. Well, I don't get me wrong. I still think that they would probably have a lot of. I feel like it would be picking out of like good workforce, like construction people.
Oh, I'll tell you right now exactly what would happen. The government would have it so screwed up, and the first thing they would do is they would get engineers and architects, and then would absolutely forget to get anybody that can actually do the work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's exactly
They're so
what would happen.
more worried
yeah.
about keeping the government, like oh god, if we don't have every part of the government still intact,
Yeah.
everything's gonna go tits up. No, it's gonna go tits up when you only have fucking pencil pushers in there.
Yeah.
Right.
You're gonna have to have somebody that wants to get their hands dirty or some bullshit. Like
Yeah.
Here's a question for Josh that I've had. I forgot it, and this whole conversation just brought it back to my mind. Do you ever, in your line of work, you're measuring shit, you're doing stuff, do you ever think about absolute zeros, or does the topic of absolute zero bother the shit out of you?
That's a subject I try not to focus on.
Okay.
At all.
If I was in your shoes, I would, if somebody walked up and was like, but what about absolute zeros? I would walk away.
Yeah.
I'd be like, fuck you, I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's. I mean, there's enough you got to keep track of, let alone dealing with that.
Yeah.
Do
you familiar with absolute zero?
no.
Okay, so you ever taken a tape measure out and you measure something, and you're like, oh, that's 3 inches.
Yeah.
Are you accounting for the width of the lines on the markers?
Oh my god, fuck no.
Because there's no way that anything is the measurement that you think it is.
Oh yeah, like it's only.
And I always wondered, because I'm like, dude, if anybody uses measuring more than anybody, it's probably him. So I'm like, I wonder if Josh thinks about absolute zeros, or if that's like a fucking bad word.
So
I feel like the only person that would think of absolute zero would be like machinists.
And even they can't get it.
no
Yeah,
It's
and they would
unattainable.
go. They go to like the what is it, micro?
The
microns.
nearest
Yeah.
thou.
Yeah, the nearest
Well,
thou.
that
yeah.
it depends on who it is. Yeah, so it depends on what you're building. If you're building Chevrolets and Fords, then you're to the 2000s.
Yeah.
If you're building Toyotas, then it's microns.
Right.
But for us, I think the easiest way for me to get around that is that I'm not thinking of a tape measure in the physical sense of it is measuring like in real world the absolute zero numbers to the finite amount. I think of it as a uniform stick where all of the lines on mine should
Yeah.
match
Yeah.
all of the lines on yours,
Yeah.
It's-
regardless of what they are.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, as you were saying that, that's what popped in my brain when he's like, well, if his stick is the same size as my stick,
Well, not all sticks are the same size.
but that's what I'm saying.
His
like,
stick is probably a lot bigger than our sticks. Because
get
he's an architect, man. He's a construction guy. He builds buildings, so his stick is going to be a lot bigger. You guys out there listening, let us know if you think Josh's stick is bigger.
God.
I really don't think.
What? I don't know. Like, what are we?
Yeah,
Are you making this dirty?
no, I'm not. I
This
feel
is a-
like
this
by
is a
you
wholesome
saying that
show.
you made it, yeah, you made it dirty.
This is a wholesome show, Tyler.
It is a wholesome show.
Ever since his
I
birthday,
just
he's
feel
been
like
different.
Right.
we're going on a tangent now, and we probably.
I just wanted to know.
The
Absolutely.
can of Quattro Crazy really just
Yeah.
I haven't did that. That was only a birthday episode.
yeah, but it still affected you.
It did affect me.
We saw it.
Yeah.
We saw you.
Made for a good show though.
You went into the fourth dimension for a second and came back.
Crazy. I went into the fourth dimension.
There was
came
a
back.
moment where you like leaned and stopped, and then you were gone, and we were sitting there like, and then like 2 seconds later, you were like, you just came back.
Oh, I don't remember that.
For those out there, for Tyler's birthday, I bought him a what was the flavor?
It was like apple.
An apple Four Loco.
Yeah, it was apple. Yeah, it was apple juice with energy drink and alcohol in it. So
I was told that Four Locos were the devil, and it was his birthday, and I thought I'm gonna buy him one of these. Just I don't know. And I even told you up front, like, if you don't want to drink it, don't drink it.
I drank it.
He drank it.
It's whatever.
He killed that thing. It's like, damn, man.
I do have to recommend the drink that I had yesterday to him. Do you like lemonade?
I love lemonade.
Man, was it yesterday?
Yeah. Should I read your review?
Yeah, go ahead and read my review. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Him and I, the store we bumped into each other at UDF.
Yeah.
And for the people that aren't from the States, UDF is it's a gas station, but it's a dairy place. They sell ice cream.
Yeah.
Like they started out as selling ice cream and then started selling gas.
UDF is not overseas?
No, it's a Cincinnati thing.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Carl Linder's base is in Cincinnati.
Okay, so his review says it tastes like malt liquor raped a lemon, but in a good way. Like maybe the lemon was into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was good. It was a big 24-ounce can, and Simply, like the company that makes lemon juice and orange juice and all that. It was Simply lemonade that was spiked.
Okay.
And I felt like crap all week. I've been fighting a sinus infection, and Friday we put in fence outside, so it was a good day to get something citrusy,
Yeah.
And it just sounded good because I was in the beer vault with him. I'm like, none of this sounds good, and we walked out and I saw the Four Locos and it was like, I've already beat myself up today. I don't need to beat myself up tonight. And I saw that can and I was like, I like the Simply brand juices. That's the orange juice I drink every morning. I'm like, I'm going to try this. And he's like, I got to hear your review of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel like we're getting off our topics and it's coming up over an hour.
We're past an hour, yeah.
Yeah, we're past an hour now. So, yeah.
Yep.
Guys, you've been hitting up the comments. We're getting a lot more views on YouTube and more downloads. So, like, what do you guys think? What any of these questions that we we talked about?
Yeah.
Throw it down in the comments. What do you guys think?
And what was that fellow's name that sent us the email?
Jack.
Jack. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's super cool. Especially the fact that you're not even from Kentucky.
That's
or the States.
That's the thing that blew me away was he's across the pond.
Yeah,
he's across the pond.
And he's listening to us.
I want to hear from more people, even just to drop a line and say hi to us. And
yeah. I know. I officially know that we've we got Jack. There was one guy that commented on us. He was from Scotland, Scotland.
Yeah, the Scotland guy commented on our Loch Ness Monster episode.
Yeah, and then I know you've talked to a guy. We tried to get this one guy. He was from Australia.
Yeah.
He has a Yowie encounter.
Yeah, the Yowies. Yeah.
But we can never.
We can never get our time to line up.
Yeah, it was 14. Isn't it a 14-hour difference?
Yeah,
that's rough.
And those of you that are hitting us up on Facebook, we're getting blown up in the messages on Facebook a lot more than we're used to.
Yeah.
So
bear with us.
We're trying to get to you guys. We're trying to figure out how to line up to get you on shows and read your story on the show.
Yeah.
We haven't forgot you.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said something. I wanted to mention it, and I forgot about it. That's awesome. But yeah, sounds good. Let's let them get back to their day. And we'll see you on the next one. There's a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah.
A lot of new guests, new experiences.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Some paranormal stuff's coming up and some more UFO stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I got a story we could talk about too about a continent that was thought was lost that they may have discovered. So
that's awesome.
I'm going to get some more information on that because it would just happened last week.
Oh, awesome.
So
cool.
Atlantis.
No, it's not Atlantis.
I want it to be Atlantis.
I know.
Okay. Later, guys. Mwah.
See you guys.
There's an owl out there hanging around, and it's pulled my number for sure. I can't remember if I said any last words, because the day before was a blur. They buried the old man about a week ago, and I wouldn't shed a tear if I could. hide the bad for a while. That feeling you hide behind the tears and the